Good evening. Stefan is on assignment this week, and we begin tonight with travel plans up in the air for WestJet passengers. The union, representing more than 4,000 flight attendants, has issued a 72-hour strike notice, paving the way for a possible shutdown during the busy summer travel season. CTV's Katelyn Wilson spoke with passengers at the Ottawa International Airport today, ahead of the long weekend.
Betsy Estevaz and William Clements are heading to Winnipeg to visit family. But with the possibility of a WestJet strike looming, they're unsure about their return flight back to Ottawa.
It's a big thing for travelers, especially, when you are like in wheelchair and it's more medical thing that we will need and all this, so make things a little difficult.
As passengers wait to see what happens, negotiations continue between the airline and the union, representing about 4,400 flight attendants, after the union issued a 72-hour strike notice. The union declined an interview Thursday, saying it's focusing on reaching a fair deal and avoiding a strike. Some passengers say they support the flight attendants, even if it means disruptions.
They should fight for their rights. They should get what they're worth.
Flight attendants voted 99% in favor of strike action earlier this month, as the two sides remain at odds over wages, unpaid work, and working conditions. WestJet responded with a 72-hour lockout notice, saying in a statement, if an agreement isn't reached, it will take all necessary actions to manage the potential impacts as much as possible.
Passengers will start seeing the effects of this. WestJet preparing for this strike starting sometime tomorrow. They'll be looking at canceling flights that are particularly long-haul flights where airplanes will be flying, Saturday night or through Sunday morning.
If the two sides can't reach a deal, flight attendants could walk off the job as early as Sunday. So what does that mean for passengers? Well, WestJet says anyone booked between July 30th and August 4th can request a one-time change or cancellation, with refunds or rebooking available if a flight is canceled. And unless a deal is reached, WestJet says around 75,000 passengers a day could be affected. But for some, just getting off the ground Thursday was a relief.
We were pretty relieved. We didn't have time to stay here. Some people had to work.
Katelyn Wilson, CTV News.
All right, we'll take our first check of weather this evening. A lovely shot of the Rideau River there just at sunset. We'll take a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam right now. 19 degrees. We'll head over to the Weather Center and Jackie Paris for our first check on the forecast. Jackie.
We'll take a look at our overnight lows. Temperatures going down to about 17 degrees. There is still a chance that we could see showers, but the chances are pretty low. Looking at the satellite radar, we are anticipating fairly clear skies for eastern Ontario. Tomorrow, 26 degrees. It could get a little bit warmer, very similar to what we saw today with the sunshine rolling through in the late afternoon. We could see humidex levels up to 34 degrees. This may be short-lived, though, because by the time the weekend rolls around, we are anticipating rain moving in. We'll have those details for you and more in just a bit.
Thank you, Jackie. Traffic was snarled along the eastbound 417 this afternoon after a pedestrian was struck and it shut down the highway. Now, it happened near Riverside just before 3 o'clock. A section of the highway was closed for about an hour and a half. The pedestrian was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Now, the incident also caused a few other collisions in the backlog, but they were all reported to be minor incidents. Ottawa Police are warning the public to stay vigilant tonight after an alarming number of sexual assaults have been reported in Ottawa over the past month. Now, police urge if you see something suspicious to report it and to pay close attention to what's happening around you. Since the end of June, police say they've received an increase of sexual assault reports here in the capital, and that's concerning because the number of reports this year is higher than in previous years. And several of the incidents involved the victim being approached or attacked by someone they didn't know.
I can say at this point there's over 10 that our sexual assault child abuse unit has been investigating. And not all are stranger necessarily, but they are concerning in nature. Every sexual assault is concerning to us as a police service, but particularly when subjects are not known, we find it very concerning.
Police say, based on information they have at this time, investigators don't believe any of the recent incidents are connected. Arrests and charges have been laid in some of the investigations, while others are still ongoing. A new partnership was announced today to help combat sexual exploitation and human trafficking in Ottawa. Ottawa Police and the Ottawa Airport are partnering with the Not in My City organization. It was founded by Canadian country music artist Paul Brandt. They say the partnership will focus on staff training and ongoing public education to help recognize the signs of human trafficking and to understand how to report it safely.
My daughter was lured into a human trafficking network while at an Ottawa beach. That led to our family being deeply affected.
In the last 3.5 years, nearly 250 criminal charges have been laid by Ottawa Police related to human trafficking. Ontario Provincial Police are renewing their plea for information and releasing new footage 4 years after a Cornwall man disappeared. 43-year-old Paul Belmore was last seen at the waterfront at Lamoureux Park in Cornwall. Now, police believe that foul play was involved in his disappearance. OPP released surveillance footage that shows Belmore's last sightings. He had gone to the Cornwall Square Mall, then to the park, and he has not been seen since. Anyone with information is asked to call the OPP tip line or Crime Stoppers. A major travel disruption for Ottawa's light rail transit system could be on the horizon. The St. Laurent station needs major repairs, a multi-million-dollar rehabilitation, and that could shut down the station for weeks. CTV's Natalie Van Rooy explains.
It's a busy transit hub connected to St. Laurent Mall, but this stop of Ottawa's LRT could be under construction soon, forcing the station to temporarily close.
This is the closest station in here, so I don't think it's a very good idea.
OC usually ends up bouncing back a little bit stronger, and I'm hoping for that this time as well. But they do have systems in place so that we shouldn't have any issues.
The City of Ottawa issuing a request for proposals this week for an engineering firm to conduct design and engineering services for the renewal of the St. Laurent LRT and bus rapid transit tunnel structures. The project would extend the life of the tunnel by 15 years, but could also force a closure for weeks.
It's okay if it's going to be short, it's okay. The chance is if it's going to be longer, that's not good for people because this is the only one we are using for now.
Well, I'm used to that because they've been shutting this down all the time, so you get used to it, but it might be annoying after a while.
OC Transpo has previously shut down the section of the LRT and the station several times due to falling concrete and corrosion. The work in the tunnel would take up to 13 months and cost nearly $8 million. The construction could take place in 2027 or 2028.
It's not going to be good for people, but you need more bus. If not, it's going to give problem.
The proposed project includes repairs to overhead concrete, fixing drain pipes and installing new troughs. The full closure of St. Laurent and both tracks would last around 5 to 6 weeks. Natalie Van Rooy, CTV News.
Well, as we head into the long weekend, gas prices are set to go up. Canadians for Affordable Energy President Dan McTagg says the price at the pumps will increase 3 cents a litre in Ottawa and across Ontario on Friday. Well, drivers have seen gas prices jump as much as 60 cents a litre so far this year because of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East. And with the Civic long weekend approaching, here's a look at what's open and closed on Colonel By Day. OC Transpo will run on a Saturday schedule on Monday. There will be no green bin, recycling, or garbage pickup. It'll be delayed by 1 day all next week. And all city client service centers are closed, but malls and grocery stores will be open.
So instead of flying fish, 9,000 kilometers or 6,000 kilometers away, we could be producing fish here in the Outaouais.
Well, after the break, a proposed salmon farm in the Outaouais could bring upwards of 10,000 tons of salmon to local grocery stores, but there are concerns about the impact to the Ottawa River.
All right, for you. There you go.
The Ironman Village is now open in Majors Hills Park. More than 3,000 athletes representing 65 countries have checked in for this weekend's grueling triathlon that's taking place on Sunday. A full list of race day road closures, you can find those on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. All right, we'll take a look at what's happening weather-wise. That's a look of the Ottawa Stadium there. And tonight, another game to bring along your four-legged friends. Yeah, it's Bark in the Park night at the stadium, and the Dogs provided some luck. The Titans get a 12-5 victory over the Sussex County Miners. Now, there's another theme night tomorrow. It's Taylor's version, Taylor Swift night, and the first 1,000 fans get a Titans-inspired friendship bracelet. Let's head over to Jackie now, who has a look at your long-term forecast. Jackie.
According to the satellite radar, we are looking at clear skies for our Friday night into tomorrow morning. Yeah, a little bit of cloud cover around Cornwall, but for the most part, we are anticipating some sunshine that will last potentially for most of the day. Now, there is a little bit of pop-up showers that could be close to Pembroke, even around Cornwall throughout the day. Keeping a close eye on this, but for the most part, we are anticipating mainly sunny skies and hot, humid temperatures as well. 19 degrees to start off, and then by noon, it'll feel closer to 34. Especially, I should say, by 4 p.m. This will carry us into 8 p.m. that evening. So again, daytime highs hovering really between 26 and 28 degrees. Now, tonight's lows across eastern Ontario, still fairly cool, about 15, 16 degrees, 11 degrees in Bancroft, Petawawa at 14 degrees. The warmth will start to move into the early part of our Friday. You can already see this orange that is moving in towards the east. Now, 28, 29 degrees is what we are anticipating. There might be a chance of some scattered showers, but this will be closer, like I mentioned, to the Cornwall area. Different story for Saturday, though. Take a look at Saturday at 7 a.m. Much more cloud cover in store for eastern Ontario. Chance of some rain moving through, potential heavier rain, especially around the valley. Will this affect the Ottawa area? We might see that between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. It should move fairly quickly. Again, we are keeping a very close eye on this. We are paying attention to this active weather system. It shouldn't affect Ottawa, but again, this could change when we get to Sunday. So taking a look at our 7-day forecast, 28 for our Friday, 26 for Saturday, and anticipating rain 10 to 15 for Sunday.
Well, fresh Atlantic salmon, locally grown, could be on Ottawa grocery stores with the shelves within years. But how's that possible without the ocean? Well, there's a proposed fish farm in Quebec's Pontiac region in the works, but as CTV's Dylan Dyson tells us, there are concerns over the environmental impacts it may have to the Ottawa River.
Look at the price of that. Robert Menard wants to see local salmon products at the Shawville grocery store.
If it can bring the price down to fish, you know, instead of buying it from way out of town or out of the country and then having to bring it in here. It's not even fresh, really, when you get to that. Where we could have it fresh here and it could drop the prices down.
That could soon be a reality with an aquaculture salmon farm proposed to be built in Litchfield. New company Salmonix is looking to build a 5.6-hectare fish farm 15 minutes west of Shawville, capable of producing upwards of 2.8 million salmon per year.
Most of the production is based in Norway, and then the second largest producers are in Chile. So instead of flying fish, 9,000 kilometers or 6,000 kilometers away, we could be producing fish here in the Outaouais.
We've been on Vancouver Island for many, many years, and we ate it, and it was fine, as long as it's well regulated.
Quebec's Ministry of Environment has called for 4 months of public consultations beginning August 24th, with concerns expressed over the impact to the Ottawa River.
As long as it's filtered and they don't put bad stuff into it, like the guts and stuff, they could use that for fertilizer instead of throwing it in the river.
Salmonix says it will pull water from the Ottawa River and can recycle 99% of the water used.
This is like the 1% that we may not be able to treat as much, and all the sludge is going into a biomethanization plant and to do renewable biogas.
Ministry of Environment are so heavily involved in this. If there's anything that is going to be a negative to the Ottawa River, it's not going to proceed, or that will have to be corrected before they are permitted to operate.
Construction is planned to begin in Litchfield in 2028, with the project creating roughly 100 local jobs.
We can certainly use the economic financials that it's going to bring to our area. There's no doubt about that, but we do have to gauge it against the environmental impact.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, the Outaouais.
Well, the province provided an update today on the wildfire situation in northern Ontario. There are currently 159 active fires, with 30 considered out of control. Officials say 80 fires have been extinguished over the past 2 weeks. Ontario's Natural Resources Minister says while the situation appears to be improving, there's still a long way to go as crews work to protect people and property. There are currently 156 fire crews on the ground battling the wildfires.
Visitors can come experience what life was like in 1866.
Well, still ahead, our summer road trip coverage continues. We'll tell you where a single tank of gas can help you travel back in time to the 1800s.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, we now know who will be the new owner of the Fairmont Chateau Montebello. Court documents show Westmont International Development Inc. was the successful bidder for the nearly 100-year resort. Now, the bid price was redacted from the documents, but PricewaterhouseCoopers says it wasn't the highest amount offered. The acquisition means that Fairmont will continue to operate the hotel. Well, an Ottawa restaurant has become the first in the city to be featured on the World's Best Restaurants 50 Best Discovery Guide. That honor goes to Arlo. The restaurant on Somerset West launched during the pandemic and features a concise menu. Mains include bistro classics from schnitzels to ribeye steaks. The 50 Best Discovery Guide showcases exceptional restaurants, bars, and hotels around the world.
Certainly, it's great for business. This guide really does get used as a sort of a tour guide for people traveling through Canada or from around the world. So great for business for sure. It's definitely a nice pat on the back. This business is really tough. We work really hard. So for the staff to get acknowledged in this way, it makes us really proud.
The owners say while they have a lot of seats, it can be tough to get a reservation. Each venue on the list, including Arlo, was selected after receiving a certain number of votes from the expert voting academies. Well, it turns out you can travel back in time with a visit to Upper Canada Village. It's a place to not only learn about history, but create memories that will last generations. Upper Canada Village is located about an hour south of Ottawa along the St. Lawrence Seaway. CTV's Peter Sperling has more.
Teresa Corbell remembers visiting Upper Canada Village as a child.
I remember the curds, the cheese curds, and I remember the bread from the bakery. That's the things kids remember, and the ice cream, of course.
Memories, now a tradition with annual trips.
I've been coming here since I was a little kid, and now I bring my family.
The Immersive Living History Museum and Village, a popular destination.
Where visitors can come experience what life was like in 1866.
More than 40 preserved and reconstructed buildings come to life.
Can all of you see that? It's not a static museum. You can come in, chat with the staff, and they will talk about what's significant about their building.
From seeing a blacksmith in action to lumber being cut on site at the village's sawmill.
It's called a steamed pudding.
You can watch traditional meals being prepared. The woolen mill producing blankets, yarn, and many more stops in the village to experience life along the St. Lawrence in the 1860s.
Of course, a popular attraction here at the village, all of the farm animals.
Piglets, horses, sheep, cows.
Oh, so cute.
What's it like petting a cow?
Fluffy.
Family-friendly fun.
It's very nice. It's very cool.
I think it's good for kids to be outside and know about farm animals and agriculture.
An attraction for all ages. And families can also take advantage of the Canada Strong Pass.
Oh, this is just a wonderful place.
So much to see, so much history.
Upper Canada Village is located in Morrisburg, about an hour drive southeast of Ottawa.
It's just a great place to visit, to learn something about the past.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
All right, coming up, a patient has his heavy metal dreams become reality. Well, after major repairs from water damage, the Centre Point branch of the Ottawa Public Library reopened today. Now, the library was flooded from the storm on Canada Day. The first and second floors are now open. The lower level is still under repair. The Carlingwood branch of the Ottawa Public Library, though, remains closed. The province's first medical school devoted to training family doctors is getting an infusion of cash.
It's going to ensure that, the majority of the students that are going through this med school are going to land in family physician positions.
CTV has learned that the Ford government will commit $55.8 million to York University School of Medicine. The school is scheduled to welcome students in August of 2028. In December, the Ontario Medical Association estimated that 2.1 million Ontarians are without access to primary care, and that number is expected to grow. Well, heavy metal dreams are coming true for a 27-year-old patient at Bruyere Health. But as CTV's Peter Sperling tells us, he didn't have to go to the concert. It came to him instead, and leaving a lasting impression on everyone involved.
It's music you typically wouldn't hear in a hospital. But when 27-year-old Bruyere Health patient Tim Barry asked to experience a heavy metal concert, Bruyere's health chaplain stepped in.
It's not unusual for us to think outside the box, but heavy metal was never on my playbook when I started here.
Tim, medically unable to go to a concert, so the concert came to him.
It was a beautiful thing.
Ottawa's Dominion Tavern putting everything together needed for the show, and for free.
We found a band, I found a lighting and sound technician, and I had all the equipment just right here waiting to go.
The lights, the sound, all the gear adding to a top performance.
Of course, a heavy metal band can get loud. So, to be respectful of Tim's neighbors, the concert was held here in a hospital boardroom.
If you're going to do a heavy metal show, you got to give them the full 100%. You can't, dial it back. You got to take it to 11.
Canadian power metal band The Scepter going all out.
Instantly, I was honored, warmed my heart that they thought of us, and I told the guys right away, and everyone was immediately on board.
Everyone putting together the full experience, even a custom-made ticket.
We painted his nails black. He had his heavy metal t-shirt on. They rocked out for him.
An emotional moment and show for many in the room.
Yeah, a little bit. We were happy to have our sunglasses on.
I had nurses coming up to me after and hugging me and tearing up and saying, I'm so glad Tim got to have this.
And a memorable and unique experience for everyone involved.
Tim was really blissed out by it, yeah.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
We won the war. Help me go home.
All right, coming up, we'll have details on a major movie milestone for The Odyssey. Another live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Clear conditions here in Ottawa right now. Lovely evening if you're out and about. 19 degrees here in the capital. We've got our final check of weather right now. We'll head over to Jackie Perez one more time for a look at your wake-up weather. Jackie.
For tomorrow, we are anticipating a bit of cloud cover and even some fog in the morning. This should clear by the time the afternoon rolls around. 19 degrees to start, warming up to 28 degrees, feeling more like a 34 at some points throughout the day. Saturday, chance of rain. This will likely be in the later part of the evening. Sunday, though, is when we can anticipate heavier rainfall moving in. 10 to 15 right now is what the earlier forecast is calling for, which will be the coolest day of this week, 24 degrees.
Well, thank you, Jackie. Summer movie season is in full swing, and director Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has just surpassed a key box office milestone.
We won the war. Help me go home.
The star-studded take on Homer's ancient epic has been in theaters for just under 2 weeks. Now, across North America, Deadline reports the movie has brought in more than $330 million US. That was by the end of yesterday. And it took Nolan's last film, Oscar winner Oppenheimer, 595 days to reach that same figure. To say Christopher Nolan is on a roll, that is, saying something. All right, well, that's CTV News for this Thursday, July 30th. For all of us here at CTV News, thank you so much for watching. Have a great night. See you again tomorrow night.